everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Liverpool Latest, the last episode of 2025. Before I get started on all the news, I do want to say thank you for the support thus far on the channel. It means a lot to me that you guys come and watch the videos, and whether you agree or disagree, I'm always open for discussion and education, because as a newer fan of football, I still have a lot to learn in my own right, but I am a fan of Liverpool and I am a fan of the sport, so I definitely always have something to say. So thank you for allowing me to be on this endeavor with you. Thank you to FanArch, as always, for the opportunity. I hope you have a very happy and safe New Year's Eve. Don't drink and drive. That is my number one piece of advice. But all in all, be sure that you have fun, because in just a handful of, just about a day or so from now, Liverpool is going to potentially ruin our first day of the year with a loss, potentially, to Leeds, or another draw, God forbid. But anyway, what could potentially lead to that, though, is the current injury list as it stands right now. We got a couple of people out. Some of them we already know. Some of them are actually kind of coming back relatively soon. Obviously, we know Salah is at AFCON. No secret there. He could be there as late as January 18th if Egypt reaches the finals. And while I would like him to be here sooner, I do want to see him and his country stunt and conquer the entire continent of Africa. Isak, broken leg. We know this already. Likely season-ending injury. Giovanni Leone, as I always say, we really don't have to put him on the list because we already know. But he's going to be gone until next year. Joe Gomez with a hamstring injury could be as early as 2026 or early 2026 with no rush or scheduled date or even a month mentioned. It just says early 2026, which is a real shame because Joe Gomez was someone that was stepping up, and unfortunately the injury bug gets to him once more. Endo has been kind of like on and off with injury. He's kind of played a little bit here and there, and then he doesn't, and then I'm like, what happened to Endo? He is having an ankle injury and will be out mid-January. Probably at the earliest he'll be back. Stefan Bashetic. I never am able to say that right, I feel like. But he's got a hamstring injury with no fixed date. Maybe he can come back this season. I highly doubt it at this rate. The one that I find very interesting on this list is Jayden Danns, because I didn't even know Jayden Danns was injured still. I didn't even know if he had played or how he even got the injury to begin with. But he's had a hamstring injury for a while, it seems, and it seems like late January, early February could be the potential date for him to return, which would be great, because although he's a younger player, it would be awesome for us to have another body out on the field as a substitution. Also, we have to talk about the bigger picture here. Gakpo, his return, obviously was a pretty big deal when it came to the Wolves match. He didn't play a whole lot of minutes, but knowing that he is now an option, hopefully not a starting option because he's just getting off an injury, but knowing that he is an option is at least maybe a little bit of a load off our minds. And I say that very lightly, to be honest with you, but maybe he can provide us some help as well. But I expect him to be any good? We'll see. He's been pretty poor all season for the most part, and for some reason Slot still continues to start him. He talks about merits and how people perform on the field, and for some reason Gakpo, who has performed probably the weakest in one of the weakest of the attacking section of our team, he continues to get starts left and right with little to no impact on the game on a weekly basis, but that's just my opinion. Here's the other problem. With Leeds coming up, what's the rotation going to look like with all these injuries? I would not expect it to be a full throttle offensive assault. Not that any lineup we have had has really been that to begin with, But this is definitely going to be, in my opinion, a much more conservative rotation, knowing the extent of the injuries we have and the potential lack of moves we could be making, which it leads me to my next part of my video today, which is kind of the timeline of everything that's been going down over the course of the last day or so with the transfer window. Obviously, as we know, starting early in the morning, Semenyo is expected to leave Bournemouth imminently. I've seen talks, in addition to the notes I have in front of me here, I've seen talks that it seems like a Man City signing for him could be imminent as well. Which, if that's the case, I'm going to be very bummed out, because even though I wasn't on the Semenyo train to begin with when this whole conversation was starting, I think the Isak injury really kind of cemented my, all right, we might as well get him. But I knew the potential issues that could cause with him just adding another striker to the team and not having any chemistry when we were already having problems with that for the first half of the season. So it seems like City continued to be strong favorites. I would not be shocked if come the first, the news is announced that City signed Semenyo. So a big loss for us in that regard. In addition to that, Mark Gahey, also likely to leave Crystal Palace in the summer. Another huge loss, as we still have no concrete solution to the center back position, as Konate, in his continuously poor form, once again, and the refusal to have any news on his contract, again puts that position in limbo. So unfortunately, I feel like that is going to be another L we are taking here. And once again, whether it's Liverpool or whether it's Palace, for whatever reason, stopping the pursuit of him right now, the hope is we can get him in the summer. If we can't get him sooner, the summer would probably be the most ideal, especially considering I'm believing Konate's leaving at the end of the season regardless at this point. He hasn't. There's been talks about new contracts. Then he says that nothing's happened. He's leaving it open. I'm of the opinion that nothing's going to happen, because if he cared as much, he would have actually signed by now. So I think he's looking for a reason to leave, hence the poor performances. But that is just my opinion. We also, I think, submitted a bid, or we also submitted a bid for Eduardo Carnavinga, who I am unfamiliar with. This is a name that is first I'm reading about it. The credibility of this report, though, is very widely questioned, because the Spanish outlet Fichajes? I this is what barely passing Spanish in high school gets me. But yeah, that's the deal with that. That's who was reporting the whole thing with Eduardo Carnavinga, and I know nothing about this. This is the first time reading this name. Highly doubt that is actually going to happen. Liverpool are continuing to monitor Nico Schlotterbeck, who I haven't heard the name in quite some time. I think we cooled off on that whole ordeal, but it seems like that is something that's still in the back end of things being worked on for the for that signing. Of course, more Semenyo news. The more I read this, the more upset I become. Semenyo apparently has agreed to personal terms with Manchester City. This is now late morning breaking news as of yesterday, or at least in the last day or so. But it's a bummer. It really is a bummer to see such a talented person not be able to sign with us. There's just a whole, honestly, this timetable that I'm looking for is honestly just like this timetable I'm reading is like more or less a whole lot of nothing. Stuff that we don't already know. Let's be honest with you. Another person, Nilson Angulo publicly dismisses Liverpool transfer rumors. So another conversation to take place with that as well. So more or less, it seems like we're not going to get any signings. I'm convinced that this is going to be a very quiet window for us, which sucks for me from a news perspective because I would very much like to report a big signing for you guys and we all sing kumbaya in the comment section. But it just looks like Gahey is not going to leave until the summer, which is sad. I feel like that's going to be a very big missed opportunity for us right now. Semenyo is going to sign with City. That seems to be the day one, January 1st news. First day of the year is the day that everybody's hearts break. But honestly, good for City because I still stand with the fact that if we can't have Liverpool defend the title and win the league, I would rather it be City than Arsenal. And you can quote me on that. I will stand on business when I say that, and I think anybody with a brain could agree with me and others on that. So yeah, very cautious January window, which is annoying because it seems like the only big impact we are making is the speculative recalling of Harvey Elliot from Aston Villa, who suffered a horrendous defeat against Arsenal earlier today before I recorded this video. And absolutely pathetic showing, by the way. I was reading it online as I was working, and Jesus Christ. What a shame. What an absolute shame. And as far as I know, Elliot was not on the pitch in any way, shape, and form, so he has obviously no one to blame, but they can't blame him. They have no one to blame but themselves and their piss-poor goaltending from someone who is clearly a World Cup merchant in Martinez. But that's a different story for a different time. And listen, Elliot's unhappy. We're unhappy because that's the loan that we gave them. Villa clearly has no use for him. We might as well recall him back. Fabrizio Romano is saying that Elliot's not expected to stay at Aston Villa either. But the thing I don't understand is why Slot keeps denying the rumor or denying the fact that this could possibly happen. He keeps saying, like, oh, he's their player for the season, and I don't know why Slot is so quick to dismiss it because it's something I've seen consistently the last couple of weeks. Because who else are we really going to have? We have no options. Everybody's fucking hurt, or everybody doesn't play enough to be fit for at least 60 minutes of play if they're coming back from injury. So you might as well call Harvey Elliott back and have him have a spot in the midfield or in the striking because we're screwed. We are very screwed. In my opinion, the likelihood of him coming back is very high. But for whatever reason, Slot continues to ignore this, considering that how do I explain this? Is that the whole legal issue of it all, the contracts of it, negotiations, all the fucking mumbo jumbo garbage that he's gonna speak, which is annoying as a fan. Where it's just like, come on, bro, we get it. Like, talk plainly to us, will you? Don't talk around the bush. Don't beat around the bush. Just give it to us straight. Are you gonna recall him or are you not? Because at this point, we all believe that he should probably come back at this point. Villa has no use for him. We might as well take him back. I never disliked Harvey Elliott, but I do think at times he can be incredibly lazy. But it's better than nothing. And if this is our big January signing, it's better than nothing, in my humble, honest opinion. I'm talking all of these things about signings and who's going where. You want to know who's not going anywhere? Our set-piece coach. Well, he is going somewhere. Fucking Cancun. Because that guy is out of here. War is over. I've been harping on the set-piece problem all fucking week. And finally, there is a God out there listening to me, answering my prayers. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. It would be very disingenuous and very rude of me to say. But the fact that Aaron Briggs no longer has a job as our set-piece coach is a fucking relief. Because if you ask me, he should have been gone a long time ago. But He's gone now in the second half of the season. And that is what matters. Now, hopefully, everybody will share the responsibility and hold accountability for what's going on with the set piece problem, because we really need to have an answer for it. We're getting to the point where set pieces are going to play a very big part, especially facing teams like Arsenal. So if we can't defend against them, we might as well not even try to defend a set piece in general. And the fact that we are very poor at set pieces is also harming us from an offensive perspective as well. So, Aaron Briggs, see you bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Off is the direction you can go fuck. And that is what I have for you today as the final episode of Liverpool Latest for the year 2025. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the fact that you're here, and the fact that you watched this video means a lot to me. Leave a like if you want to see more, subscribe, and comment down below anything I've talked about so that you can join in on the conversation as well. Have a great New Year's Eve. Be safe. Once again, don't drink and drive, or I will come kick your ass myself, because that shit is going to hurt a lot of people. Anyway, let me get off my soapbox. Let me end the year and say this to you. Regardless of whether you come on the channel for a one-time only thing to watch the videos, or if you're a returning subscriber, I want you to know that if you join Liverpool Latest in any capacity, you will never walk alone. Happy New Year, everybody.